Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of your favorite team in the Bay Area. On today's episode, we're going to get you guys ready for the Leafs game, look at some new lines for the Sharks and how they're going to try to generate more offense by moving the same pieces around, and look at the Leafs and how they have started their season and how the Sharks might actually have an advantage in goal tonight. So all that and more on today's episode of Locked On Sharks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at Fear the Fin and San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can subscribe on YouTube as well. And the Sharks take on the mighty Maple Leafs of Toronto today. Probably the most covered NHL team there ever has or ever will be. And we know, of course, about the Leafs, where basically for them, the regular season doesn't matter. It's all about, can they get out of the first round of the playoffs? So we'll get into kind of some new look Sharks lines, and as they try to, David Quinn tries to kind of build some more offense again with using the same pieces that he already has. He had a nice quote today about why he doesn't want to pull up the young kids yet, even though they're tearing it up down the AHL. We'll look at the Leafs, where the Sharks might be able to attack the Leafs, and kind of the Leafs early season struggles this year. So let's go ahead and start with the new lines for the Sharks, which so Sheng Peng was at practice, and some different lines. So we have just all projected. We'll see, but usually if they practice it one day, that's probably how they're going to line up the next day. But Timo Meier, Tomas Hertl, Evgeny Svechnikov, line number one. Matt Nieto, Logan Couture, Alexander Barabanov, line two. Oscar Lindblom, Nico Sturm, Luke Kunin, line three. Noah Gregor / Jonah Gadovich. I think that's going to be your potential. We'll see who goes in there. Stephen Lawrence and Kevin LeBanc on the fourth line. So welcome back to second line, Matt Nieto. Just brings a tear to my poor heart. Having to see Matt Nieto on the second line again. I know Nick Bonino, game time decision. So I would assume he would slide in for Nieto there if he's in, but he's practicing with the orange, like, no contact jersey today. So we'll see. I would assume they're probably going to play a little slow with Nick Bonino. No rush to get him back. But my first kind of thought was the second line of Matt Nieto, Logan Couture, and Alexander Barabanov. And oh man, that line might have its work cut out for it tonight. I've documented Logan Couture's struggles throughout the season and how his line just hasn't produced a lot of shot attempts. And I know they've scored a couple goals here and there, but it's about the process over the results here. And if your line is continually kind of getting outshot, you're getting hemmed in your own zone, you're typically not going to have goals, and that stuff will usually kind of even itself out. That's why I'm not so worried about the Timo Meier line, like Timo Hertl line, because yes, they're not scoring goals right now, but they're working their way and they're getting shots. And I talked about after the Vegas game where that line produced 27 shots on goal, and I know Timo Meier could probably do a little bit better job about kind of putting his head down and getting to the net and trying to make some more high danger shots. But if you keep shooting, eventually one's got to go in, right? It's the Noah Gregor theory. If you keep shooting, one's got to go in. You can't just keep. You're not just going to keep missing all the time. So Yeah, it was interesting to see that they broke up Sturm and Svechnikov, especially because that line has been playing really, really well together. But I guess Svechnikov has been playing well, and they want to kind of give him a shot, maybe with the top guys, to try to get some offense going on this team that is averaging less than 2 goals a game, and this is game number 10 in the season, and we've yet, we're not even at 2 goals a game, 2 or fewer living on. But third line, Lindblom, Sturm, kind of sure, fine. I think Nico Sturm has kind of proven himself so far this season of being capable, and I think that line will be perfectly capable. Gregor, Lawrence LeBanc. LeBanc has quickly fallen out of favor. I know he scored against the Devils, but yeah, you've seen him kind of moving up and down, and he was a healthy scratch last week. So, this might be another kind of try to jolt things from David Quinn. So, and Quinn was asked about, well, you guys are struggling. Why aren't you just, you're seeing your AHL team light it up. Bordelot has got 3 goals. I'm recording this right before the Kudas drop the puck. Bordelot's got 3 goals, and Eklund's been playing well, and you have a bunch of guys. Like, why aren't you going to, try to? And he said he's just, he doesn't think they're quite ready yet. At some point, Quinn is going to have to kind of rip off the Band-Aid here, and you want to win games, and I assume he wants to win games. I don't want them to win games, but I assume David Quinn is going to want to win games. And if you have guys who are proving down in the AHL level that they are capable of scoring goals, and your NHL players are not scoring goals, you're going to have to try to do something at some point to try to shake things up and to try to generate offense. On again, this team is averaging 1.9 goals per game right now. It's tough out there for this goal scorers. So I assume the defensive pairs are probably going to be about the same. James Reimer did leave practice for a little bit. I guess he took a puck kind of in an unpadded area under the arm. We'll see who plays. I'm sure. I would personally like to see Kaapo Kähkönen. I thought he played really well on Saturday. Like to kind of get both these guys going here. So I would, if it's me, I would expect Kaapo Kähkönen to play, and then Reimer can play on Saturday against the Lightning. But we shall see what Quinn wants to do there. Before we continue, we get into the actual Maple Leafs and how their season's going and how they're expected to line up. Do want to let you guys know about our friends over at BetOnline. BetOnline has got you guys covered for your number one source for all football. And with the start of basketball, they have you taken care of. You can find out the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. Maybe you like the Ravens tonight against the Bucks. Personally, I think the Ravens are going to win. So if you agree with that, some potential to make some money there. As always, they remain your continued source for your sports wager information with live betting, which is always really fun, especially if you know a team is going to win. You can put your money where your mouth is in the middle of the game. Up-to-the-minute scores for every sport out there. The fastest and easiest way to check on your favorite games and events. You have World Series coming up. You have MMA. You have boxing. Plenty of hockey. So head to their website today or use your mobile device to learn more. Bet online, where the game starts. All right, so let's get into the Maple Leafs, who a little struggle so far to kind of start the season. So right now they are 4-3-0, so third in the Atlantic, but their offense really hasn't kind of gotten going, and they're tied for third in the Atlantic. Sorry, there's like 4 teams all at 8 points, but their offense really hasn't kind of gotten going to the way that we normally would kind of expect from them. They've scored 4 goals twice, or 3 times, sorry. And, 3 goals, or sorry, They've scored 4 goals 1 time this year, which is kind of surprising, especially with how loaded this Maple Leafs team is. Coming off a couple days rest here, they played Monday against Vegas. So they'll have a kind of a nice little break before they play the Sharks on tonight on Thursday night. And then they finish up West Coast swing before with the Kings and Ducks before heading back home. But yeah, I mean, they lost to the Canadiens opening night 4-3. They beat the Caps 3-2. They beat the Sens 3-2. They lost to Arizona, which is still hilarious, 4-2. They beat the Stars in overtime 3-2, and they beat the Jets 4-1 and lost to the Knights 3-1. So haven't really seen their offense get going. Here is how they are expected to line up. Alexander Kerfoot, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner. Austin Matthews, you guys know he's pretty good. So everyone's favorite waiting, prospect in Toronto, Nicholas Robertson, John Tavares, William Nylander. Anyway, John Tavares kind of starting to take a little step back. He never was the fastest guy, and he's just starting to, his age is starting to catch up with him a little bit here. So Michael Bunting, everyone's favorite rookie, Cal Yarncroc, Dennis Mulligan, and then Zach Ashton Reitz, David Kampf, and Pierre Engvall as the fourth line. Defensive pairs, Morgan Riley, TJ Brody, Rasmus Sandin, Justin Hull, Mark Giordano, and Victor Meat. So they are dealing with some injuries. Matt Murray, who they acquired from the Sens this offseason, he's on IR. I think he played one game, and then he's on IR. Jake Muzzin, longtime nemesis from the Kings, was recently just put on IR, among some other guys here. So, little beat up there, especially on the back end for them. Their goaltending has been kind of an issue, and if this team wants to and then in goal, I missed the goal. Ilya Samsonov and then Erik Kallgren. And Erik Kallgren is going to be the starter for the Sharks game here. So, but yeah, their goaltending has been kind of a sore spot for them for a while. Of course, Jack Campbell is now with the Oilers. And this year they were hoping Matt Murray would hang around, but again, he lasted one game until he got hurt. But Erik Kallgren, who they're going to be facing, he's played one game this year, and that was the Coyotes game. And of course, he gave up 3 goals in that game and had 833 save percentage. So for a career, he's at 886 save percentage in 15 games. Has won 8 of his games, but again, I think that's a product of having an awesome offensive team in front of him. So this might be a game where the Sharks could get some offense going just because of the goaltending situation with the Maple Leafs. And will they score 3 goals or more? We will see. But the Leafs, though, are kind of, like I said, they're having a little bit of a slow start for their season. Their power plays kind of is still rounding into form. They're kind of middle of the pack right now at 22%. Last year they were second in the NHL. Colorado's power play is at 50%, which through 7 games, which is insane. And then the PK for the Maple Leafs right now, again, about middle of the pack at 80%. So, but the shooting percentage, again, the Leafs, they haven't had much puck luck. They're at 8.4 shooting percentage. So that's like the 5th worst in the NHL. The Sharks, of course, are dead last at 7% shooting percentage. So the Leafs are a team that's going to, they do usually take more shots than the other team. So, so far this year, their shots for, they're at 53% shots for. They're Corsi, they are 9th in the league right now, 53% for shot attempts. But the goals for, they're 7th worst in the league at 44.83. So the Sharks are 3rd worst right now at 37%. So they're getting a lot of shots. They're just not getting a lot of puck luck right now. So that's kind of what's been their bugaboo. And even their quality shots they're kind of middle in the pack right now of high danger chances. They give up um, they give up a little bit more than they they gave up 80 high danger chances to the 75 ones that they've generated so far this season. And their goals, when they do generate, they tend to generate a little bit more of that of goals. So they like to kind of get in close and score from there. But they just haven't had as much puck luck as you would expect for a team that's so star-studded as they are with their teams, and I like kind of the big gun. Like Tavares right now is leading the team in points. He's got 8 points, 3 goals and 5 assists. William Nylander's 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. Austin Matthews only has 1 goal so far, so I would expect him at some point to start getting that going because, I mean, he's really good at scoring goals. Just a quick reminder: last year he had 60 of them, so I think he'll be fine and probably get back on track with the scoring goals at some point. So, especially a couple days off here, I kind of expect the Leafs to start to get their mojo going back offensively. So, before we do continue, do want to thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen of the day. For your second listen, go check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast. They've got the games that matter, the biggest stories in sports, and go beyond the scoreboard. Go behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. All right, so the game plan for the Sharks to try to win this, you have to take advantage of the goalie advantage that you have, right? So whether it be Kaapo Kähkönen or James Reimer, you have an advantage in net tonight, and you have to take advantage of that. So we saw Timo and Hertl be, shoot, just constantly shooting as much as you can on Adin Hill. They didn't score a goal, but that is the recipe. So I'd like to see that kind of shoot mentality, especially on a goaltender who's making his 16th career start. Has played 1 game this year and got rocked by the very, very sad Arizona Coyotes. So that's your keys to victory. You have to shoot and make this guy not comfortable. That doesn't mean like run into him, but just keep him busy and keep shooting. Every time you get a chance, keep shooting on him. So, and then the power play, please do something. A power play goal would be nice at some point. There's 7% there. The Blue Jackets, who have not scored a power play goal, which is amazing. The Canadians, 4.8%. The Florida Panthers, which is amazing to me, they're 6.1%, especially with their lineup. I know they lost some pieces, but still, that'll turn around. The Preds are at 6.9%. Nice. And then the Sharks are at 7.4%. Those teams are all single digits. I know the PK of Toronto is pretty solid, but again, when you have this goalie in that they do, you got to try to generate. You need at least 1 power play goal here, because this power play is getting sad. So that's kind of your if you can shoot, get as many shots as you possibly can on them as early as you can. That's going to be your key to victory. I also want to see, I'm going to really keep an eye on the Logan Couture line. So Matt Nieto, Logan Couture, and Alexander Barabanov. How is this line going to kind of work? I know Nieto scored the other night on a nice breakaway, but who's going to be I guess Logan Couture is your goal scorer. Maybe Couture just needs to shoot some more. I don't know what it is. Like he is this line. They can't. I think they just need to try to shoot some more, and that goes back to my main point of try to generate offense. This team right now, you have to keep shooting. So you don't have a lot of talent, so you might as well just shoot and hope that one of them goes in. I think that's going to be a recipe for success. And then kind of the final thing, how is Erik Kallgren, especially after playing that last game where he played a 5-minute shift to end the game when they were down by 2. I know he missed some of practice today. I don't know if he missed some of practice or all of practice, but I know he wasn't participating in practice today. So, Kakinen will start. Sorry, and Kallgren will play. Kakinen will start. But I want to see how Kallgren plays. They gave him the day off today, which is fine for practice. But he has been your kind of biggest generator of offense. You're not getting much more offense from the blue line. From any offense you get from anybody else in the blue line is kind of the cherry on top. So how is Kallgren going to be able to help generate some offense? Is he going to help generate some offense for all the different lines and kind of picking and choosing your spots with Kallgren, because it's that fine line of he's the only defenseman who can generate offense for you. But at the same time, you can't play him 30 minutes a night because you're just going to wear him down. He's going to get hurt. And then you're going to have no offensive defenseman by the time Christmas comes because he's going to be hurt again. So let's see where Kallgren's at with the minutes. Let's see how they utilize him, especially in a game where you're going to need, I know, like I said, Toronto has not scored a ton, but you never know when this team could put up 5, 6, 7 goals in a night. And it feels like they're due for one here soon, especially the way they're getting pucks on that. They have bad shooting luck right now. So, and you can't keep, Austin Matthews, you can't keep these guys down forever. So, yeah. And then final thing, since Kaapo Kähkönen is starting, can he build off of what was a really great game where it was an onslaught of shots? Can he build off that New Jersey game and what's probably going to be another onslaught of shots against the Maple Leafs and not let in that soft goal? Or, can Kaapo Kähkönen needs to steal this game and keep this mighty Toronto offense from not scoring 4, 5, 6 goals? If he can keep them into the 2 or 3 range, the Sharks have a chance. So you need a power play goal. Kaapo Kähkönen needs to keep them to under 3. If the Timo Hurdle line can do something, and I want to see the Couture line, how this new Couture line is. I guess it's find Logan Couture a friend. I don't know. All that being said, I got the Leafs winning 4-2. So it's just, they're good. I know they're going to have goalie issues right now. I wouldn't be surprised if James Reimer's playing with the Leafs by the end of the season, just because James Reimer's having an awesome season, and he would help a team like the Leafs right now who have no kind of goalies, or they're kind of hoping and praying right now that their goalies can kind of make it through, and James Reimer will really solidify their goalie situation. But that's just me. So I got the Leafs winning 4-2. It would be hilarious though if the Leafs lost to the Sharks. But yeah, I got the Leafs winning 4-2 as the Sharks continue to struggle for offense. And that'll be it. I'm going to go watch the Kudu game right now. So make sure you guys go check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast. You can also follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole. You can listen to the podcast wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Odyssey, all those places. Watch it on YouTube. And until then, bye, friends.